What's up, sons? It's Blind Rod with Tech once again, and today I wanted to bring you a wrap-up of day one for E3, and that just means there was only one panel today, and that was going to be EA. We're going to talk about the good, and then we'll follow that up with some of the bad, and just get you caught up on what games you can be looking forward to, what features are coming, and what they've taken away, and what they've added, and so on and so forth, so stick around. Welcome back. So, E3, awesome. EA, they've had a rocky road recently. If you guys haven't followed any of the EA kind of the drama, basically they had a big issue with Battlefront 2. A lot of people fought back, and then earlier this year they went ahead and apologized for a lot of the kind of sketchy loot box, loot drop stuff, and so on and so forth. What I was looking for today when I went and sat down for this was going to be, well, Anthem, because I'm excited about that game, and then to see what they were going to do with Battlefield 5, especially in relation to, of course, the loot boxes and the premium passes and so on and so forth. So the biggest good that came out of this, from my personal opinion, is right off the bat, they started out with Battlefield 5. It's looking really, really good. And they went ahead and followed it up at the end by saying there are no loot boxes and there is no premium pass, and they want to keep all players on the same level playing field so that everybody can, all your friends can continue to progress together throughout that game, as well as they're going to be adding daily content to the Battlefield 5 game and that Battlefield series. So Battlefield is looking really, really good at this point, a lot more enticing than what I saw from the latest Call of Duty Black Ops 4. We'll have to reapproach this, of course, later on after we see more information on Call of Duty, and hopefully maybe I'll just do another Call of Duty versus Battlefield kind of video to wrap up, because I think those are the two where we need to see the most innovation and are kind of the two big guns in the AAA shooters. They are both doing something similar that we'll talk about in the bad. Next on the good list was that they announced Unravel 2, and Unravel was a great game that I enjoyed playing with my daughter. We played through that entire thing together. I primarily played, but she definitely helped out. She's getting a little older now and understanding game mechanics a lot better. I'm really looking forward to Unravel 2. The big note here is that they've taken away that yarn that runs behind you. You've been detached from that. You're going on a quest to get that back and get your spark back. And there are two characters on screen instead of one now. And you can play either co-op, or you can just pick up the second character to move a little bit more swiftly if you're playing in solo mode. I think this is going to be a nice addition for the mechanics in the game. And it is actually available today on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. So go out there and pick it up if you're interested in that. I would assume that also means that Unravel should be free on EA Access, which they talked about, but that's going to go into the bad section there. The next thing on my list is going to be that Madden is coming to the PC. And this is just a testament to how much the PC gaming community has grown, that a title like Madden, which has really never been on PC, or at least not for a long time, and it would always get released way later and have a bad port at best case, is coming back to the PC, and we're going to see Madden on PC. Let me say that again, Madden on PC. That's pretty cool. If you're a Madden fan and you've recently switched to, of course, the PC platform like a lot of people have, out of disappointment on the initial launches of the Xbox and the PS4, the vanilla editions of those, then now you have the option to go back and play Madden. And I'm actually super curious about this one. I'm going to have to pick it up and see how it performs. I think that's going to be the biggest question, is how well does Madden 2019 perform on PC, and see if it was a port or if they actually did some ground up work to get it functioning properly on the platform. And finally, Anthem. They had a ton of Anthem gameplay released. We have a lot more information than we did last year. It's looking more and more robust. They covered a little bit of the single player versus multiplayer storyline and how they separated those two. I think it's going to work out okay. I don't think it solves it to the extent that they say it solves it, and by solves it I mean solves doing a story mode during co-op and still making it feel like you're engrossed in that story. You're going to break immersion in a story anytime you go into a co-op mode, outside of a few special cases, maybe something like A Way Out, which was a Get title that did win a lot of awards, rightfully so. And if you haven't checked out A Way Out, definitely go do that. Moving on to the bad though, we have a few things that are concerning here, and it's primarily going to be around the way they are trying to monetize. If you guys have looked at EA in the past and the EA Access Pack, essentially you can pay $30 for the year, which is not that much. And with that $30 for the year, or $5 a month if you alternatively, if you want to pay per month, you have access to the EA library or the legacy EA library. So by that I mean, like, you might not get the latest games all the time. In fact, most of the time you never do. They're pretty old, outdated games. But now they've announced that they are going to do an EA Access Premium. And this EA Access Premium has no price yet, but they're saying you're going to be able to use it to have access to all of the EA games. This is problematic because if we're talking about subscription services like Netflix and so on, which is what they're comparing this to, it's not really on that level, because you have to realize that it's only one publisher. It's only EA. So you're going to get a lot of the games you don't want along with the games that you want, and depending on price, basically renting the games 24/7, so it's like a yearly rental or a monthly rental, sounds like a really sketchy way to do it. If it was, you know, on a platform like Steam, then maybe you have more access to more games, and this is going to be something that's going to get really, really interesting. Streaming content as video games, to where you have basically a subscription service and then you stream the games, which they also announced, and that's worrisome, because if I know anything about EA, I know that when they launch their own platforms of something, for Origin for example, right, they pull all of their games off of other platforms and don't allow people to use it. So what this means is things like the Nvidia Shield are not going to have access to EA games, and that's why this is dangerous and bad. It's not so much that it couldn't be of value. What it is that it means that there are other platforms that are going to automatically not be allowed to have EA games on these types of services. Okay, so the last thing, and this is a little bit more of a personal gripe, is the last bad thing for me will be that they decided to add a Battle Royale mode into Battlefield 5. Now, depending on how they do this, it could be okay or it could be good, but it will probably make the rest of the multiplayer a skeleton or a desert town. And I really enjoyed the Battlefield games and the type of gameplay it added as a shooter in and of itself, without having to go down that Battle Royale path. But what we've seen with like even something like Fortnite, where they had a pretty fun PvE version for a while, but then they shifted to the Battle Royale. All the focus went to the Battle Royale because that's where the money was, of course, and the PvP portion basically stopped getting as many updates and just went by the wayside, and not as many people were playing it. Now I get it though, that's what a lot of people want, is the Battle Royale thing. As a player, what scares me is that the other modes of the Battlefield will have no players in it, and of course it's just jumping on a bandwagon a little too late. Whether or not the Battle Royale system decides to stick around for a long time, which I think it's probably a good 5 to 10 years before Battle Royale goes away completely, having a AAA title that already has a pretty hardcore set of game types move over to that Battle Royale system, which Call of Duty is doing as well, is a little worrisome for me, and seems to be more of a marketing thing than it does to be an actual from the ground up game type. Let me know what you guys think about EA's E3 conference down below in the comments. I'll be trying to cover all of the panels from E3 as I can. I do live stream them when I'm not doing something else as far as for work. So this weekend I'll be live streaming them over on twitch.tv/sonvatech_. You can get my live thoughts and opinions on them over there, and I'll see you next Tuesday.